Hi and welcome to the 11th and very last week of the Island Stroll CAL blanket. I'm Tess from Sisters in Stitch, and together with the amazing team of Yarn and Colors we have brought you these two projects that are either a pillow or a blanket depending on which yarn you're using. And this tutorial is only for the blanket makers, so if you are making the pillow, please head to the tutorial that we have linked up here for you. So for this week, we blanket makers are doing the last little rounds of our border and finalizing our beautiful, beautiful blankets. Starting with this independent section that is the puff stitches, followed by the bubbles, and then some lovely framings, all ending up with this gorgeous, gorgeous border of crab stitches that is just so lovely. I mean, look at this. Gorgeous! So without further ado, let's see what you will need to make this week. So to make this week in the very same colors that I'm using, you will need 3 colors of the super must-have yarns from Yarn and Colors in the shades Cream, Old Pink and Pearl, along with a 6mm hook, and a scissor and needle to tackle those ends. And since the blanket is getting so big right now, I will continue showing in must-haves because otherwise it will not fit the frame. But yours will look like this and the one I'm showing you on will look this small, okay? And please note that as this blanket is getting bigger, it's also getting a lot heavier to work on, so be kind to your wrists and take breaks in between the rounds. And no matter what colorway you are working on, either saunter in the sunlight as seen here, stroll by the sea or walk in the woods, you can follow along with the color changes on the divider notes that are placed in between the rounds. And as always with us here at Sisters in Stitch, we are using US terminology throughout, and you can find all the abbreviations, terminology and stitches used in our comprehensive stitch guide that is placed on our homepage at sistersinstitch.com, where you also find the free downloadable patterns in both a printer-friendly and a screen-friendly version. So without further ado, let's begin. To begin our 4th round of the blanket border, we are going to find ourselves a slope and the 3rd to last single crochet before a chain 1 and a half double crochet. So in here is where we will start our round. And this will be a very straightforward round. We are only doing slip stitches and puffs. So into the 3rd one before a turn, you are doing a slip stitch. Like that, and tighten. And now we're skipping the next 3 stitches, the 2 single crochets and the chain 1, and into the half double crochet we are directly working a puff. So yarn over and go into the stitch, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, and do that 4 times in total. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 9 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 9, and close with a chain that is part of the stitch and not part of the pattern. And then you are skipping the next chain 1 space because we're only working in the half double crochets, and immediately go in there and do a puff. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, 9 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through them all, and chain 1 to close. Like that. So this is all that we are doing. We are skipping the chain 1 and into the next half double crochet we are doing a puff. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, yarning over and pull through them all. And then we repeat this 10 more times, so just carry along until the last half double crochet and meet me up there to do the final little thing here. Have fun! So we have now come all the way across, and you should have 1 slip stitch and 13 puff stitches. And then we're going ahead and skipping the next 3 stitches, so the chain 1 and the first 2 single crochets of this side. And into the 3rd one, we are simply closing with a slip stitch, like that. And as this is the independent round, which meaning that we are only doing this section for all 4 sides down in the slopes, we are now cutting our yarn, leaving ourselves quite a bit of thread to just fasten off on the back side of these single crochet sections, okay? So when you're fastening off, make sure that the slip stitch is really tightened, and then go back in here and hide it on the back here. Make sure that it doesn't show through on the front, and then just go back and forth on a quite large section here to make sure that it will stay in place. So repeat this for all 4 sides in this section, fastening off your ends, and then meet me up for round number 5. For round number 5, we are finding ourselves the 6th single crochet placed before a slip stitch from the independent round. So just count backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into this stitch is where we will begin. And into this stitch we are doing a standing single crochet like that, and in the next 3 stitches we are also doing a single crochet. So 4 in total, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 like that. Then we are chaining 1 and skipping the next 4 stitches, meaning the 2 single crochets, the slip stitch and the puff stitch, because this round we are only working around the closing chain 1 spaces, not around the puffs. So yarn over, and around the first chain 1 space here we are doing a DC3 bubble. So let's start with our first, second and third half finished double crochet, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4, and then we chain 1, and this will really tighten up our corner, as you can tell. So what we will do now is skip the next puff and do a DC3 bubble around the next closing chain 1 space. So we are just taking it nice and slow as always, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 and chaining 1, skipping the next puff, and repeat this 10 more times, so we have 12 DC3 bubbles in total with a chain 1 in between worked around all the closing chain 1 spaces. So do that across and meet me up at the very last one. We have now arrived at our very last closing chain 1 space, where we will finish our last DC3 bubble for this side. So just chain 1, and then we're skipping the next 4 stitches, meaning the puff, the slip stitch and the next 2 single crochets. And into the next stitch we are making a single crochet, and in the following 121 single crochets as well, which will take us all the way to the next point that we are starting on the other side here. So the 122nd single crochet should fall right here in the 7th stitch before a turn. So repeat this for all 3 sides, making a single crochet in the next 4 stitches, chaining 1, skipping 4 stitches, the 2 single crochets, the slip stitch and the puff, making a DC3 bubble and chaining 1 around all of these closing chain 1 spaces, chaining 1, skipping the next 4 stitches, the puff and the slip stitch along with the next 2 single crochets, and then make a single crochet in the next 122 stitches. So do that all the way around and meet me up to close. So we have now come all the way around, and you should have 12 DC bubbles with a chain 1 in between and in front of them, 13 chain 1 spaces in total, and then you should also have 4 plus 122 single crochets, so 126 in total. So what you will do now is simply cut your yarn and fasten off with an invisible join to the 2nd stitch, being the 2nd single crochet that we made, okay? So do that and meet me up for round number 6. For round number 6, we are mainly working in the stitches from round number 5, but we are also working in these 4 single crochets from round number 3. So to begin, we are finding our 3rd single crochet from round number 5, placed before a chain 1 space. So here is where we will begin. And in this stitch, we are doing a standing single crochet, followed by a single crochet in the next stitch too. So 2 single crochets in total, and then we're skipping the next single crochet from round number 5 and instead going around this one from round number 3 and doing a front post single crochet like that. And around the next 2 stitches from round number 3 we are doing a front post half double crochet. So 1 and 2 like that, and then we are doing a front post double crochet around the next single crochet from round 3, which already holds this little slip stitch, but we are working in front of it. So just go in there and do a normal front post double crochet. like that. So these 4 stitches will act like a cover for these sections and will actually frame our puffs and these 3 bubbles very beautifully. So now we are skipping the single crochet and the chain 1 placed here behind, and around the next DC3 bubble we are doing a front post single crochet like that. And then we're doing a single crochet around the chain 1 and continue on with this repetition 11 times in total. So front post single crochet, single crochet, front post single crochet, single crochet, all the way across. So we have now come all the way across and we are at our last DC3 bubble, and around it we do a front post single crochet 2 like that. And now we are repeating what we did here, but in the opposite way, of course. So we are skipping the chain 1 and the single crochet from round number 5, and around the single crochet from round number 3 that already holds the slip stitch, we are doing a front post double crochet. So just work in front of it like that. And then in the next 2 single crochets from round number 3, we are doing a front post half double crochet. 1 and 2. It can be a little bit fiddly, but take it nice and slow and it will work. And then around the next single crochet from round number 3, we are doing a front post single crochet like that. And now we're about to carry on, but I just want to show you we're skipping the chain 1 space and the 2 single crochets here after, and then in the third one we are beginning the first out of 121 single crochets that will take you all the way around up until this point on the next side. Okay, so repeat this for all 3 sides and meet me up to close. Have fun! We have now come all the way across, and you should have 134 single crochets in total, 14 front post single crochets, 4 front post half double crochets and 2 front post double crochets. And the front posts are placed around the stitches from round number 3, and all the rest are up on round number 5. So what you will do now is simply cut your yarn and fasten off with an invisible join to the second stitch, being the second single crochet after round, and then meet me up for round number 7. So we have arrived at round number 7, which is again an independent round, the very last one for the blanket, and we are beginning in the first single crochet placed before one of these front post sections, and we are only doing 35 stitches per side this time, so it will go really quick, but it will build up this section height a little bit before our last 2 rounds. So grab your yarn and hook and let's begin. So we are beginning in this very last single crochet made before a front post single crochet on the right side of the slope, and in it we do a standing single crochet like that. And around these next 4 front post stitches we are doing a front post half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 like that. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch across to the next side, so 23 single crochets in total. 1, 2, 3, 21, 22 and 23 like that. And now we're repeating what we did on the other side, so we're doing a front post half double crochet around the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we finish with a single crochet in the next stitch that is slightly hidden here behind, but you will find it. And that's it. So we are simply fastening off with an invisible join here and hiding our ends back here, and then we are doing this for the next 3 sides before beginning round number 8. Have fun! So we are now at round number 8, which is the second to last round of this entire Island Stroll Blanket CAL, and it feels absolutely amazing. I hope you're having lots and lots of fun. This will be the calmest of rounds. The only thing that we are doing throughout is single crochets, so you can begin in any stitch that you want to and just go ahead and go all the way around. You don't have to count, you don't have to do anything. Just put a single crochet in each stitch. And then you're ready for round number 9. And we are not fastening off this round because we are doing crab stitches for round number 9. So keep your thread attached and just go along and meet me up for that very last round. Have fun! So simply begin with a standing stitch in any of your chosen stitches and then carry on, making a single crochet all the way around. Okay. And a lot of single crochets later, we are at our very last one. So we have finished the single crochet round and we are now about to start our very last one. So to do that, we simply slip stitch into the very first stitch of the round and then we carry on with some lovely crab stitches. So we are now about to begin round number 9, our very last one, and I have just gone ahead and made a few crab stitches to show you what we are supposed to do. So we are creating this lovely little border round that just wraps itself around the edge of our blanket. It's gonna look amazing. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So we are now about to begin and we are working a lot of crab stitches, and the crab stitch is essentially a reverse single crochet. So we're doing a single crochet but backwards. So instead of working this way as we normally would, we are now actually working backwards. So what we will do is chain 1 just to begin, and then we're going back down into the stitch. So we're taking our hook, going through, grabbing the yarn, pulling it through the front, through the stitch, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both. And the first ones will be tricky, but they will get easier and easier as you go along, okay? So this is our first crab stitch, and now we just repeat. So we go into the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. And then we just keep on going through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. And as you can tell, this will give a really lovely border effect. So it will just hug your blanket with these twisted loops and it will just frame it off perfectly. So just go ahead, take it stitch by stitch. Do not keep a too tight tension because then it will bundle up on you. Not too tight, not too loose, just lagom as we say in Swedish. So I hope you will enjoy this round. Keep on going, 1 stitch at a time, and then I'll meet you up to close. Have fun! And we are now 2 stitches away from finishing our border and our blankets. Oh my, this has been so emotional, so it's good to take it nice and slow this round. So just carry along and do the last 2 stitches, like that. And now what we will do is to simply cut our yarn, leaving some to work with so it really can fasten off our ends. Threading a needle, and then we are not going in here but into the stitch that already holds our very first crab stitch of the round, going very close to it, through the stitch, like that. And just pulling our work so it ends up with kind of the same spacing as we have for our other stitches. And then simply fastening off back here, going down a round or 2 and not hiding it amongst the crab stitches because then you can get it all cramped and such. So do it down here, fastening off both your working end and starting end, and then meet me up for some final words. And there we have it, we have finished our Island Stroll CAL blankets. I can't believe that it's already over. 3 months went by so quickly. But I hope you had lots and lots of fun and that this will be an heirloom treasured for years to come. So from us here at Sister Stitch and the Yarn and Colors team, we thank you so much for strolling along in this beautiful, beautiful CAL. So until next time, bye!